Today, there's coverage on a new aircraft order, a US low-cost carrier that is seeking to fly internationally, and a major European powerhouse expanding its route network once more. But beginning with the leading story of today, it sits with Breeze Airways, that are currently finding themselves attempting to fly routes out of the United States, as part of what can only be described as a significant shift in their strategy. Thanks to a shift in strategy, Breeze is viewing flights towards destinations not just in the sun, but also going as far as Europe. The low-cost airline has, up until this point, focused very much on US-based operations, with your low-cost flights being offered wherever possible. However, the opportunity of international flights continues to ring in the back of David Neeleman's mind. He is the man who is behind Breeze. Approval from the Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, is currently something Breeze seeks, and it is in the early stages of finding ways to launch such international routes. The early belief is that there are several opportunities towards destinations in Ireland, among other warm weather spots during peak travel seasons that Breeze could enter. Flying to warm weather destinations is certainly not something that would be abnormal to see. There are many companies in the North American space that do something very similar when the winter months arrive. Understanding Breeze Airways means we have to track back to 2021, when they were launched, after initially being founded some years prior as Moxie Airways, before a name's switch took place. Backed by David Neeleman, who played a very crucial role in JetBlue's rise, there was a firm belief that Breeze could emerge as another key competitor in the US market. Breeze essentially wanted to offer point-to-point services from secondary, smaller airports. As a result, it wouldn't necessarily look to fly into and out of only major hubs around the United States, which was largely already being occupied by your mainstays such as Delta, United American, and so forth. With the model Breeze were targeting, they wanted to offer better prices to customers and target large markets that maybe weren't getting the services that they needed. Very quickly, the airline saw the A220, or at the time known as the C-Series, as the perfect plane for their future flying. However, to launch operations, the airline did acquire second-hand Embraer jets, including your E195s and E190s, as it awaited the A220. When taking a look at their network and per Cirium data, they actually offered 2.52k flights for October 2023, which equated to some 323,000 seats. Flights jumped 90.5% year over year, while their routes increased by 36 to 93 in total. With 35 aircraft in service, it's going to be interesting to see how these plans to fly internationally do develop with time, and whether they do see demand to not just those warm weather destinations, but also some flying towards European cities. Remember, this is a pretty saturated market, so adding Breeze to the space would present some very, very firm questions around the success of doing so. Staying in North America, and with another aircraft order, it does feel like there's been a lot of focus on Porter Airlines of late, and they've exercised purchase rights to place a firm deal for 25 E195-E2s. The Canadian carrier therefore adds to its already 50 firm orders as part of the latest deal. At list price value, it is worth USD 2.1 billion, but like I always have to say, list prices just define the value of the aircraft. Don't think of it as what the company is actually paying. Normally, heavy discounts are handed down during orders to customers, and these can be a determining factor in swaying, say, a customer from one manufacturer to the other. And in the case of Porter and Embraer, well, they have not just a close relationship now, but one that is set to be ongoing for many decades to come, so no doubt there was a fantastic deal associated with this. Since taking delivery of its first Embraer E195-E2, the type has been hugely important to the airline's current and long-term success. The aircraft's capabilities have meant that Porter has been able to launch into new but also emerging markets. Destinations such as Las Vegas, Miami, San Francisco, and Los Angeles will all be made possible thanks to this aircraft. alongside further destinations in the Caribbean and Mexico. Porter Airlines really does pride itself on the use of the E2. The pride is highlighted through things as simple as the configuration. That means customers will not face a middle seat on their travels. Additionally, Porter's E2s are configured with the latest amenities. Configured with 132 seats in an all-economy, there are a variety of seat pitches that are on offer to those that will be flying on board the aircraft. And the 132 seats are actually down from the overall capacity that the plane is capable of harboring, so that really shows that Porter is trying to prioritize comfort in some of its more critical markets. These planes are deployed from eastern Canada right across the country. Their services don't just focus on Toronto Pearson, but also to the likes of Ottawa, Halifax, and Montreal. These latter locations are now seeing new services, and with the addition of more E2s in the future, you can expect these operations to grow. It's been a very exciting period for Porter Airlines, not just with new routes starting up, and of course now the latest addition with 25 new E2s, but also a recent tie-up of a joint venture with Air Transit. The Canadian market is getting a shake-up, and I think many people are all here for it. Over to the final story of today, that's with EasyJet, that have announced their intent to open a UK base in Birmingham International Airport earlier than expected. As a result, the company will offer passengers more flights across new routes, enhancing connectivity right across the board. Utilising Birmingham as its new base, EasyJet says 29 routes will be offered. This includes flights on their website and 16 new routes that are now already on sale, doing so on November 30th. Thanks to the commitment and earlier base opening, EasyJet will offer service as Europe's leading airline starting March the 18th, 2024. Additionally, EasyJet plans on basing 3 new aircraft at the airport. Currently, 13 domestic and international services originate from Birmingham. However, thanks to new aircraft now being based here, EasyJet will have more options to expand its network, with 29 routes to North Africa, the UK, and Europe, all slated to feature. The belief is that EasyJet's new base will be positioned in an optimal location to offer leisure and business travellers what they need when it comes to routes. And as for the routes, some will be year-round and some will be purely for the summer season. This is, though, the first new base to be opened in over a decade. As a result, EasyJet says that around 100 direct jobs will be created for pilots and crew. Meanwhile, there'll be over 1,000 jobs indirectly supported thanks to this commitment to Birmingham. That is going to conclude today's aviation news recap. You are more than welcome to let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. As always, your support is greatly appreciated here on the channel, and I'm glad that you have been enjoying this long-form content. Please do take care and do also be safe. Stay tuned tomorrow at the exact same time for your latest industry developments. And we'll fly.